Blacklist is extremely dependent on the tempo that Joshi can do in the early stages. And then after that, the Deer and Jeb can Golden Kite actually take on that 1v1 in the early games and then just put Erin on the back foot. I don't see it as a 50-50. I do believe that the BP clearly is in favor of Nova.
We'll have to see the early game tempo coming in from Blacklist International. If they can make and break Nova in the first few minutes and make sure that Golden Kite, Dragon, and Joshi doesn't fall off, then maybe we see Blacklist International takes more control of that mid-game before Shadow Tyrant here. But so far, we see a 2v1 setup, aggressive towards Blacklist International towards the bottom side, securing that Fire Beak in the hands of Golden Kite. Off to a great start, I would say.
Great start right over here. Let's see. Chami1 under a lot of pressure right over here. You can see he's going to have to use his flash. That's going to go on a cooldown. Sadly for him, he won't have that ability available anymore for a specific period of time. It is going to be about that pressure. At the end of the day, Nova Esports understands something very important about this game. It's not always about going in and get the kills. It's about going in and harass your opponent. Just force him to waste time or to waste abilities and put those abilities in cooldown. Nova Esports understands that, and that's why I sometimes believe that they are at a different level than the rest.
But Chaz here getting punched out by the Floorborn tank. Double knockup into double knockup. That's 4 knockups here, and he gets the first blood. And the solo bolo towards the Clash lane here. No flash, walking out. 3v for Shred. Shred solo kills Chami1.
Solo kill right over there. We know that Xuan is gigantic on that Guan Yu, and it is bad news for Chami1. This is a horrible matchup for him. On that Yanjian at these early stages of the game, he will not have an advantage in there. And right now, Xuan has just made that stretch a lot wider.
Immediately in 2 minutes of the game, already a 2-0 kill lead for the side of Nova Esports, and we see Chami1 putting a lot of pressure on towards Strand here, zoning him out of this minion wave. Dragon is also in the vicinity, trying to make sure that Chami1 gets this lead at the very least. Just G here, just having a few lead in towards the jungle here. As long as Just G doesn't fall behind, there is still consistent hope for Blacklist International later on in the side lane tempo.
Alright, let's wait and see. Let's look at that. Right now, Blacklist, they need to really understand how to capitalize out of these minion waves. It is important for Joshi right now to try to make a movement. He needs to try to do something. You can see him right now on the minimap. He's cleaning over there the red buff area. He's going to start rotating to the mid lane. After he cleans this wave, something needs to happen because we're moving very close to the 4 minutes mark. But what can they do? Look at that. It's going to be 3 against 2, Sagi.
Pinned down on towards the side of Muji here, but the heals coming in from Wave Pit. Common spell heal. Drop in the heal on towards the Dolia spell too. Making sure that Muji never falls below half, and Shred finding Just G in towards the enemy jungle. There is the Guardian Sprite. Damage is reduced by 15% here. Dragon, no flash. Bounce House coming in from Conling. Picks up the first kill here. Chaz, no flash as well. Making a double coming in from Nova Esports mid lane Wendy here. Things are looking horrible for the Blacklist International squad.
Oh, what is going on in here? Blacklist International, come on. Dragon and Chaz falling in here in the moments where they could actually take in 1 kill on that Guan Yu. The Guan Yu is going to survive, but Dragon and Chaz is going to fall. That's going to start giving more and more openings for Nova Esports. The pace timing right now, as it's just becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. It's becoming a lot harder for him to actually command the tempo of the game.
If game 1 was like an equal standard coming in from both teams, like they're just playing based on their own tempo, game 2 is completely Nova Esports dominating the early game and pulling Blacklist into a rabbit hole. The more you lose, the deeper you fall in towards this rabbit hole, and the harder it is for you to recover into that mid-game period. It's only 5 minutes, and it's already almost a 2,000 goal lead for the side of Nova Esports.
It is too big a gap for this early in the game. When you're supposed to be controlling the early stages, your composition is supposed to be taking control of this. What are you going to do in the times when that Flowborn is going to start getting online? Look at that, it's going to be a
1v3. Shen pushes onto tree, gets the Razor Cavalry here. Trades Dragon on towards the first kill here. Pins Just Chi on towards the wall. Just Chi manages to flip away for safety here, but that is tree invested to dive one horse in towards that bottom lane here. This leaves Golden Kite having to expend the flash in towards the top side. Not a tower traded for the life of a 1-to-1 exchange.
Has destroyed
a 1v3 and he's still able to trade one back? Come on, man. It's impossible to stop the Shen glazing here. It's just crazy.
It's only a glaze if it's not true. He's just styling on the members of Blacklist International here. Conley finding the bounce house on towards the members off the side of Blacklist International here. This Azir Golem is a freebie going into the pockets of Nova.
Right now, they're going to move the target over there to the mid lane turret. It's going to be Chami1 trying to clean the wave. They do not want to let that one go. In the moment that that turret is going to fall, Guan is going to have free roaming around because there's not going to be any vision just to try to find where Shen is going to be running.
More angles as well, right? The moment the turret goes down, there's more flank angles, there's more backline access coming in for the side of the strand here. We see a bit of a poking prod coming in from Blacklist International, securing the buff for Just Chi. First, an ending sorrow goes in, coming in from Wendy here. Chami1 finding the assassination on towards Muji, isn't able to find it here. First to fall will be Dragon. Shred finds a two-man push, sends Golden Kite into the mouths of Nova Esports. Only thing that Blacklist International can do is to back off, and now another turn goes over to the side of Nova.
A tower.
A 2-0 trade for Nova Esports. Right now, they are commanding this game. It is going to be horrible. 7 minutes right now, 3,000 gold advantage for Nova Esports. Joshi comes in, he tries to check if there's anything over there for grabs and goes back with the tail in between his legs.
Such a difficult position for Blacklist International to be in here. You were drafting a Mai Shului and Magistrate Direnjie in the early game, expecting to play that tower pressure, but to fall so much in the early game due to the fact that Kong Ling punished Chaz, punished Dragon for mispositioning, and right now, the Direnjie is in such an awkward position. You can't push, you can't pressure with that 2-item power spike. The longer this game goes, you're just gonna be outscaled by Wendy and Muchi on this double pick.
Difficult moments right now. They have eyes right now. They've got vision in here. Nova Esports right now, they decide to come in for the push. Look at Kong Ling with the Flowborn coming in. He does not care about anything. He is just walking through the jungle in knowing that he is a menace.
He's putting so much room for Muji, for Wendy to play easily in these team fights. Every time Chaz comes in with the 2-2 on towards the members of Nova Esports, you want to heart link back to your teammate. No, Kong Ling's like, no. You stay here, I'm gonna knock you up 3 times, and you will be dead by the time that you can actually move.
Just the multiple knockups that Flowborn tank can do, man. It's just like the design of that hero makes it, in this specific patch, such a gigantic option. The initiation, the sustain, the damage that it can provide, paired up with this Dahlia, and paired up with this Yuhuan. What can Blacklist do to turn things around?
Maybe a miracle push coming in from Just Chi in towards the bottom lane for a Hail Mary. But so far, looking in towards the front end here, we see Muji pummeling down that mid-tier tree. Wow, Golden Kite gets pushed into the mouth of Nova Esports once again. The Destiny counter slashes in towards the side of Blacklist International. The final tune sets Golden Kite up for that death. Wendy flashes forward with that aggressive ultimate here, gets Dragon and Just Chi on the back end, all the way towards the base of Nova Esports. It means in the front side, it will be a 4v2 in favor of Nova Esports. Before 10 minutes, they're looking for the game-winning push.
bro. It's back. He's going to push the crystals to be the target. The minions are still alive. They're trying to clean them up. It's not going to be enough because they're all falling. The crystal's going to follow, and it's going to be Nova Esports taking the second victory of this matchup.
9 minutes and 49 seconds. Not even a 10-minute game. No shadow objectives were present in this game. That is how dominant this game 2 was in the eyes of Nova Esports against Blacklist International.
Nova Esports comes in and then they just completely put their foot on the ground, saying that they're not going to be pushed around. This is the Nova Esports that we remember. This is why they're one of the top teams in our game. Blacklist International, on the other hand, the first minutes of the game, it was really difficult for them to actually control what was going on. That is the problem in here. The problem is that if you have already designed your strategy to be very dominant in the first minutes and then the ball kind of just falls, there's no coming back. Your power spike is just in there at the beginning of the game, and what can you do after that?
A series of events, right? Like we saw in the top side, the level 2, the roam coming in from Wendy towards the top side, forcing out the initial flash from Chami 1. And after that, it was a solo kill on Shen's Guan Yu against Chami 1's Twilight. And then, that wasn't the only thing that happened. That solo kill was the second kill for Nova. In towards the bottom river, that was supposed to be a 50-50 matchup between the two teams. It was Nova Esports finding a perfect kill thanks to the Glowborn tank CC chain on towards Chaz Von Weaver that got them yet another lead. And from there on out, everything was disastrous for the side of Blacklist International.
One disaster after the other one. One fight lost after the other one. There was no coming back. There was no coming back in there. Again, I love the way that Blacklist finished the 2025, this 2026. They decide to take on this very gigantic challenge. And in these two games, they have not shown that they are at the level of this very, very difficult game.
But it's still a plausible thing for the side of Blacklist International. Losing early is always fine. You stat check yourself against Nova Esports, potentially one of the champion teams coming into KSI4, and then you think to yourself, okay, now that I know what I'm lacking against Nova Esports and the other teams,
of course,
if they start to look back towards their recording, start to pick up their game pace, maybe by the time of the knockout stage, they could realistically minimize that gap.
Of course, yeah, no, I completely understand what you mean, man. And it is not, and I don't want people at home just to think that we're writing off Blacklist from this game, right? Like, there's always the possibility of a 0-2 turning to a 3-2, right? That's always, those are things that we have seen in the past. It's just that when you analyze this game, not even making it into the 10 minutes, when you are supposed to have the early advantage, that says something. That is a gigantic flag that must be addressed.
I think for me, aside from the gameplay coming in from both teams, there is a thing coming in from the draft that I think Nova Esports has been doing really well on the red side. If we go back towards game 1,